I want you to step forward into the reality that the emanation of the truth of you is the place to create from. Is the place to create with. So if people are playing a film and your camera and you're like, script holder, what the hell? It's like, okay, what if the truth of me was emanated in this moment? How does that cut through all the bullshit that I'm experiencing? Does that cut through this relationship? Does that cut through this friendship? Does that cut through this business dynamic? What does it cut through to say, what is the truth of me in this moment? And of course, you guys have never been taught to say, what is the truth of me in this moment? You've been taught to say, how can I keep everybody happy? Or how can I be the most successful? Or how can I be the winner? Or how can I have the most money? Or how can I feel safe somehow? You haven't been taught to say, what is the truth of me in this situation? And a lot of times, what is the truth of me in this situation is a sense of desperation. Like, oh my God, I don't even know what my truth is, right? Whereas we want to cut all that out and start with, I'm going to walk into it with the truth of me. I'm going to start with the truth of me. I'm not going to get into something and then go, what is the truth of me? Which was how we were doing it before because we had to start someplace. But now it's like, go to the head of the class, graduate into high school, whatever you want to call it, front and center. What is the truth of me as I walk into this? As I walk into this from the beginning. We're going to give you an example because it's always good to have an example, right? Veronica went to a memorial service on Saturday. So she's walking down the street and she has no idea if there's going to be one person there. Well, she knew Sasha would be there. So she knew there'd be one person there, right? She didn't know what the situation was going to be. It was one of those things you don't know. And frankly, she doesn't have a lot of experience going to memorial services, right? There just haven't been a lot of people who have passed in her life that she's been going to memorial services very frequently. So she was a little bit like, I just don't quite know what to expect. So she's walking down the street, she just said, I know, I will emanate the truth of me. Then it doesn't matter what's there. It doesn't matter what's there because I will start with emanating the truth of me. And I will continue just to emanate the truth of me regardless of the circumstances I find myself in. Whether there's one person there, whether there's 500 people there, whether people are crying or people are laughing, I'm just going to emanate the truth of me the whole time. And it completely changed it because as we've shared in the past, due to her empathic, psychic, blah, blah, blah nature, groups of people have been very challenging for her to experience. But she didn't go in wanting to know what's up with all of them. She didn't go into the room going, I got to feel everybody out and see what's going on and how am I supposed to act and what am I supposed to do and what are people going to say and what's it going to be like. It was, I'm going to go in with the truth of me and that's the way I'm going to experience this. It's from the truth of me. Okay? Is that example clear? Mm-hmm. Because that's a really good one, especially for those of you who've been around a while and have seen different ways she's had to interact with groups of people. It's a huge change. It's like, completely flopping over to be able to walk into the room and say, regardless, the truth of me will be emanated here. So later on, because it was a crazy kind of day, she had the gig with the band. Dressing up for Halloween, going out. After memorial service, dress up for Halloween, go out. It was a very strange day for her. Again, she parked the car and she thought, what's it going to be like? People going to be in costumes? Are people going to be drunk? Are people going to be happy? Is anybody going to show up? Who knows what it's going to be like? She's walking across the street. Well, the bottom line is, I'm going to emanate the truth of me. It starts within and goes out, just like the film camera, creating your reality, the whole thing, right? Start with the truth of you and emanate the truth of you out. Don't preach, don't shake shoulders, don't demand, don't mean, none of that. Just stand in the truth of you. What is the truth of you? I'm here. I'm going to go in. I'm going to listen to the band. I'm going to see what happens. I'm going to experience it as it unfolds. And because there's a centeredness and a solidity about understanding and having a grip on what the truth of you is, and if you don't have a complete grip on it, then that's that vulnerability weakness thing. You can be okay with not having a grip on the truth of you if you don't see it as a weakness, but instead see it as vulnerability, which means openness to new. And you can walk into new environments. And you don't have to carry all that stuff like, what was it, Pigpen, the Peanuts character that we talked about, where the Guardians saw all that sort of dust clouds that you guys were carrying around. Because, oh my God, I might need that insecurity someday. Like, keep it around. You don't need all that because the truth of you is an incredibly complex, complete thing. And if you're not afraid to be vulnerable, because you're not weak, you're vulnerable, which is a position of strength, you can stand in I don't know, I don't have it, I can't tell you, I'm clueless, I'm confused, without judging yourself and deciding that means you're bad or wrong. But instead, the act of I don't know can be the beautiful opening to something new. This is the gift you're giving yourselves by opening up to walking the completeness of you. The tool, don't have Velcro for that, right? The only reason Velcro works is if you have both sides. Velcro with only one side is, maybe you can scratch yourself with it, but otherwise it's pretty useless. Okay? So if you don't have Velcro for what I don't know triggers in you, I don't know can be a position of incredible strength. So you walk into an environment and you don't know what to do, that can be strength. If you decide it's strength. Only you can decide I don't know is a position of strength. Pardon us. Only you can decide I don't know is a position of strength. Because I don't know has been embarrassing, shameful, humiliating to each and every one of you more than once. But I don't know, and of course by I don't know, we're using that as a catchphrase for I don't have certainty about this next moment. I don't have certainty about this next moment. And either that means, oh my God, it could be all the color crayons, or oh my God, that means I'm in lack and I have to be frightened. You make that choice. And when the completeness of you is being emanated at the edge of your field, you have so much available to you as you walk into the space. And if I don't know is a place that you're not uncomfortable with, then you don't have to be afraid. You don't have to be afraid. Instead, you can be open to explore. Because the reality is if someone says to you, well, you have to know or don't show up, then what's the point of even being human? What's the point of even being in the body? What's the point of even being alive? It's the exploration of the I don't know parts that's actually the point of being here. But the survival instinct says only be in certainty, or else it's not worth, or you can't have it. So the soul says I don't know is where we want to live, and the survival instinct says certainty is where I want to live. And it's up to you to use spiritual discipline to say, the truth of me is that I can handle I don't know. I can handle I don't know, and not only can I handle it, but I seek it out. Because I want healing above all else. And by I want healing above all else, of course, we mean is I want transformation. I want a new relationship to the way I handle triggers, and I want a new experience of being in the human form. I want healing above all else because as I experience healing, I experience an opportunity to know myself more. And what the hell else are you doing here? Really. Because as far as we know, most of you aren't just hoping to retire and have a motorhome, right? You want something more.